So today is about being in the moment in a scene, being yourself in the scene, and just going through the motions of the scene, and in the end go like, oh, the scene is over. And more like reacting in daily life than going like, oh, in front of a mirror, I'm going to act like this, and this is what it's going to look like. Today we're going to act from the inside out instead of from the outside in. So, about preparation. What is the most important thing when you are preparing a scene? What do you start with when you prepare a scene? What do you start with when you get a scene? What are you going to do? What's the first thing you do when you get a scene?
Read the scene.
Read the scene. That's the very first thing you do. You only can read a scene for the first time once. So that is a very important moment. Because when you read it the first time, you don't know the scene, and after you've read it, you know it. So when you read the scene for the first time, you need to write down what your first thoughts are when you see a scene. Right? So the second thing is, what is the scene about? Right? So when you are going to prepare together in your groups, part by part, you're going to talk about what the scene is about. Right? And then the third thing is about your person, your character in the scene. What does it want to achieve in the scene? Right? So what is your character wants to achieve in the scene from the other characters? So first you're going to read. Then with your group, you're going to talk about what the scene is about, keep it short, and then you're going to come up with objectives. So what do you want to achieve in the scene for each one of you, right? And then you will learn the lines. It's the last thing you do, but you guys have already done it, so that's lovely. So you don't need to learn the lines anymore. So those are all different ways of doing the scene, which will all be good when you do it. So come up with 5 different ones and divide them over you.
Na und, ist doch normal? Echt so. Das fand ich immer so schnell in den Kopf hängen.
Okay. You need to know the lines.
Yeah, really.
Right? You can never, ever play a part if you don't know the line. What were their objectives? To surprise. So you want to surprise them. That is first. So we have he's creating a transition in the scene, which is great. But you have to know where the transition is. You can only play one objective at a time. So you start with surprising,
Yes.
and then at some point you switch and you start to downplay.
Yes.
Yeah? Now raise the objective. Make it bigger. Right? So that we can see it. It doesn't mean that you have to start making bigger movements or speak louder. You just have to want it more. If you feel the need to move, if you feel the need to touch someone, you feel the need to spit in the face, do it. Right? If it's impulse. There is nothing more prettier and a gift to an actor is if you have an impulse. It's like somebody giving you a gift. Impulse is magic. If you feel impulse, use it. Do something with it, because impulse is the most beautiful thing that happens. Now, stop acting. I don't want you to act. I want you to be in the moment, and if he says something that does something to you, then that's good, and that's great. So if he annoys you, then be annoyed. But don't act that you are annoyed. So again, my question to you is, what are they playing? Yeah? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
Kacke. Eine 6, ich sag's doch. Brett vom Kopf. Wieso? Blackout? Du? Blackout? So ein Bullshit, ehrlich. Was brauchst du für ein Abi? Wofür brauchst du ein Abi? So 3 Jahre.
Deinen qualifizierten Abschluss? Ich sag's ja, voll hier.
Dann mache ich halt eine Lehre beim Hausmeister. Hier, seht ihr das? Na und, das ist ganz normal. Das sind alles Absagen.
Ja, na und? Lass doch nicht immer so schnell den Kopf hängen.
Very good. That was very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So what's interesting? Do you feel what happened inside? Wasn't that interesting?
Yes.
Right? You only had one objective, is asking her for help. And then she comes at you, makes you feel guilty, which she did very well, and you became angry.
Yeah.
But you really became angry.
Yeah.
It came from inside. Did you see that? It gives me goosebumps. Because that is exactly what I mean. She only had an objective. She didn't make a choice to become angry at some point in the scene. It just happened. That's when you get authentic performance. Isn't that lovely to watch? Yeah?
So, easy. And maybe that I want to protect her.
Ah, nice. Right. Yeah.
Also, maybe also to convince her not to marry her. Oh,
Well, that's what you're doing, yes?
yes. And also to change her mind that he might not be the right one for her. But
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much alike. Yeah? So choose one of them, with the one that you like best, and then add a third one that is better.
Yeah.
Oh, could your objective like also be to make somebody cry?
Yes.
Oh my god,
Yes,
that's
hell
so
yeah.
good! Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh yes.
Shit!
That's stuff you need, girlfriend. Yes. So often I ask actors, when they've done the scene, I ask them, how did it go? And if they say, I don't know, I know it was a good scene. Because they were gone. They were gone. They were just in the moment. They weren't thinking about their own performance or what they were doing or trying to do. They were just there, just doing it. And then in the end, they go like, I don't know, it felt good. It was fun. Yeah. Let's find out if you want him to. You want to find out if he's true, if he's for real. Should we try that?
He really loves me.
If he really loves you,
He really
you wanna try that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then let's go towards a transition that you realize that he doesn't love you.
And I noticed that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the
Okay. Your objective is to have sex with her.
Okay.
No,
He's already undressed.
what you're doing is great. I mean, you want her as much as you can. He needs to go, and you want her,
Okay.
right?
Hmm?
So, make it because you had this one was a little big. What was your objective?
To split them.
Yeah.
To split them, but it was more because you were
Yes,
just
to split them
hitting on
because
her
I'm
like
jealous, I'm
major.
jealous.
Yeah, he was like, oh, girl.
Because I'm jealous. I think I want to have his place. Or like, if they are a real couple, I want to have his place.
Do they like you?
Yeah, sure. Sure. I mean,
Consider this. My father, he dropped us like a rock. Everything was fine at our house. At least I thought so. We all thought so. And then, BAM! It's over.
This is news to me. She's good at making secrets.
It's pure selfishness. When I have a kid and I want something, I'm not gonna do it if it's gonna screw up the kid.
but you could change.
Thank you, guys. Okay, run.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go run.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Go run.